Welcome to EZ3 Sport Production. I'm your host Subtles, and if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that sub. Make sure you hit that like, and make sure you hit up that comment section. I want to hear what you gotta say about this next subject, and also turn on that notification so you can be up to date with all this giant content that I'm about to drop. So, the Giants and Lions had just finished their preseason game after 2 days of just straight scrapping with the joint practice. They had about 6 fights the first day, had about 2 fights yesterday, and they just finished up. And the Giants won 14-3. Most of the starters really didn't play, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting because this team does have a different pulse than it did last year. So if you was to remember last year when we came into the preseason, the first game, of course, they were soft. It was really no way to really put it. Like, the team just looked soft. And I think it was a little bit because of what Brian Dable was doing during training camp, where he was basically going through it with kid gloves because he didn't want everybody to get injured. At that time, we had Darren Waller, we had Sterling Shepard, we had a lot of guys who always got injured, and you can see the toughness in this training camp. Like, you can see the grittiness, you can see the dog in this training camp going out there onto the field. So these last 2 joint practices, they've been fighting the Lions. The Lions are one of the most physical teams in the league. They are, in a lot of people's opinions, favored to get to the Super Bowl and actually win the Super Bowl. And the Giants just joint practices, they let it known that they're the alphas, and they went out there on that field today and they let them know that they are the alphas. Now, mind you, this is just preseason. There's a bunch of guys out there that's fighting for their job, but they still looked good, and the preseason matters. I don't care what nobody says. The preseason matters. You need to get some type of winning inside of your system before you can get to the season. Usually when people just skate through the preseason, they don't really care. They're not used to winning, and then when you get into the season, you just continue to lose. You got that loser mentality. I don't care if it's a preseason game. I don't care if it's an exhibition. You should want to win. You should get the feeling of winning, and they got the feeling of winning today, 14-3. Basically, this was the Eric Gray game. But let's start from the beginning. Drew Lock, he started. He went out there. He did Drew Lock things. Drew Lock just did Drew Lock things, like throw an interception. So he got pulled. The defense, they looked good. The defense really looked good. The draft picks out there, the 3rd rounder, the 2nd rounder, they were looking really good. And as I said, it's backups against backups, and that's all fine and dandy. But you want to see, do the guys know what their assignments are? Are they trying to make plays? Do you know what their names are? That number, he's flashed. Those are the things that you're looking for. And the Giants defense looked pretty good. I mean, they only gave up 3 points. So, I mean, they did something good today. And I got to give kudos out to the offensive line. This offensive line is, and these are backups. So, mind you, these are the guys that will most likely be in the game if one of our guys are hurt. But I seen a lot of holes opening. Like, they were opening up the holes for these running backs. And the running backs, they were just everywhere. Like, what I'm trying to say is that it was multiple running backs. Eric Gray stood out the most. He got 2 touchdowns, but that offensive line was opening up the holes. Tommy DeVito giving what the defense, he was taking what the defense was giving him. Nothing too crazy. But this was the first playoff game. What was you really expecting? But the Giants look pretty good, man. the Giants look pretty good, and I was very impressed with the offensive line. I did not think that they were going to look as good as they did today. Really, the only guy who was giving up a lot of the pressures and everything was Joshua Azudu. But I truly do believe, man, they're playing him at the wrong position. But that's another story for another day. He may not even make the team because you're gonna have to find a spot. Somebody's gonna get cut because you have to keep Tommy DeVito on this team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, Daniel Jones, yes, he's the clear starter. Drew Lock did not look good, but we know what Drew Lock is. And Tommy DeVito, we seen what he did last year. I mean, he got on a run and he knows what to do out there, and he's already in the system. So Tommy DeVito is going to be on this team, and when you carry 3 quarterbacks, that means that somebody at some position is gonna, one position is gonna have to be out of there, and we'll see which one it is. But basically, this is a very short thing because we're talking about preseason for the most part. But Eric Gray, they weren't really talking about him in training camp. They were thinking like he was 3rd or 4th on the depth chart. He came out and he wanted to prove that he can be that second guy behind Singletary. But yeah, did a good job. Giants win 14-3. We're gonna keep on going into practice. And until next time, I'm out.